We're going to check in first, then we're going to, it's all going to be floor based, we're going to do some deep stretching. If you want to turn off the speaker kit, if you want to, just in case you're worried you might cough or, you know, snore at any point, because sometimes
I don't know how to turn it off, to be honest.
if at the bottom there should be a little speaker. There's at the bottom there's 3 circles, and the one to the left the one to the left of the red circle is the speaker one. Right, we're going to start, folks. So, chest opener. So I'd love you to come down onto the floor and invite you down onto the floor. This rolled up blanket is just going to go underneath your bra strap or underneath your shoulder blades. Okay. Now if it feels too uncomfortable, you know, don't do it. Take it from underneath and just position it as you lay back underneath your shoulder blades so you get a gentle opening of the chest. Okay. If you feel as though you need to put something underneath your head because that's too high, get yourself another blanket. Place that underneath your head so you've got a little bit of support underneath your head, or you can put a block underneath there, and just it's up to you how you want your legs. You can have your feet wide at the edge of the mat and allow your knees to drop in towards each other. Okay, really what you're looking for is comfort in your lower back. So if it feels uncomfortable in your lower back and you prefer your legs straight, or you prefer them bent, or you prefer them in Supta Baddha Konasana, you bring your feet together and your legs wide, making a triangular shape. Now, you might need to prop something underneath your thighs just to give that extra little bit of support there. Okay, so you don't feel as though there's too much stretch in that area. So all we're going to do, whatever feels comfortable for you, you can place your hands on your belly, or one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, and soft gaze or eyes closed. We're just going to check into our practice today, and we're going to just look at our baseline and see how we feel. Okay, so while you're doing that, gently relaxing on the floor, feeling comfortable, I hope, just spend a little time wiggling and find that little sweet spot of comfortability. We don't want to have any pain today or push through any pain. Be gentle, balance between effort and ease. And remember that yoga is all about self-mastery. When we master ourselves and understand ourselves, then we can work on our well-being. So, we're just going to check in. So, what I'd love you to do is we're looking for, when we do our body scan in a second, looking for the place with the most charge without analysing, judging, or looking for reasons why there's any physical tension there. And if there is tension or emotions going on in a particular part of the body, because emotions do reside in the body, I want you to try and say hello, to invite and to accept, and if you can, try to soften into that area, breathing without resisting. The more you push and resist, the more it will drag you into deeper sensations and pain. So it might help if you're connecting with your breathing. So nice big inhales through the nose and exhaling slowly and gently through a slightly open mouth, and you can repeat the mantra. On the inhale, you could repeat let, and then exhale, go. And that can be the background for today's practice. Obviously, practicing let go when you breathe is going to be a little bit of a challenge when we check in with our body, but we will come back to our breath in a moment. So we're just imagining ourselves that we are at the airport, and we're going through the big body scanner, and it's going to sweep from our feet to the top of our head. And we're just looking for the areas of most sensation or charge. There's no right or wrong. Even if you feel nothing at all, that's perfectly fine. So check in with the soles of your feet and your ankles, the calves and your shins. Any sensations in the knees and the backs, the knees and the thighs and the hamstrings. Locating any areas of sensation in the hips, the Any sensations in the lower back and the lower abdomen? Gently moving up to mid-back, mid-abdomen, the front chest, the upper chest at the back, into the shoulder blades and the tops of the shoulders, upper arms, elbows and forearms, wrists and hands. And don't forget to check in with the neck and the jaw. Any sensations there? The face, the temples, the cheeks. Notice where you're gripping any tension in the jaw at all, and the whole of the head, and then the whole of the body. Try to soften into that. And think about where you are emotionally today. Just a small snapshot. How are you feeling? Just notice. Say hi. Greet it, whether you feel as though it's not been a great day emotionally, but say hi to it. Let it in. Put out the welcome mat to your emotions. And think about your mind like a car. How fast is it today? How many miles per hour has it been revving? Or has it been idling? Is it slow? And then check in with your breathing. How would you describe the quality of your breathing? Have you noticed whether it's short and shallow and fast? Could you try now to bring it all the way down into the abdomen? Imagine that there's a balloon just behind the belly button and that you're expanding and contracting the abdomen with that lovely, nice, deep abdominal breathing. Connecting with it as the background to your practice. Nice, deep inhale. You can say let, and on the exhale, in your mind, you can say go. So try to be an impartial observer about your body, okay, without intellectually analysing anything that's going on or judging, but set an intention, because whatever you think you become. Set an intention for this practice or for what you would like for your life itself. A short positive statement in the present tense, beginning with I am. So if you feel that you've had a challenge today, you want to flip that script, say the opposite. So say today if you felt anxious, I am anxious, say the opposite to yourself and say I am calm. And repeat that 3 times inside of your head and just let it go. Okay, so now we're going to take that blanket from underneath our shoulder blades. Now just gently pull that from underneath. Nice. And then we're going to keep our feet at the edges of the mat. You can support your head if that feels okay. You might want to put something under your hips. So you've got your feet at the edges of the mat. You can create cactus arms with your hands, with your elbows parallel to your shoulders. Hands touching the floor behind you. Doesn't matter if they can't. Feet at the edges of the mat, either side, and we're just going to work into the psoas muscle and just work into the hips and give a nice gentle side to side movement. So drop your knees one way and then the other. Inhale up and then exhale as you drop them in the same direction, the opposite way, and feel that deep stretch all the way down the side body and work into that sensation, nice and slow. And keep focusing on physical contact with the floor, so we keep nice and grounded and centred. While the world is spinning around us today and it feels chaotic, we can bring this sense of centralised calm. We can be that stable force in the middle of all of this. So just in your own time, using your breath, inhale up and exhale down. Just do what feels right for you. Just keep going backwards and forwards. Just opening up that psoas muscle where we store a lot of tension. It's that deep hip flexor muscle. It's in our core. It pulls us slightly forward. And just rock that from side to side. And then drop them all the way over to one side. Now I've dropped my legs all the way over to the left. Okay, and I'm going to take whatever knee, so basically, I've dropped mine over to the right, and I'm placing the ankle on top of the bent knee, so it makes a kind of strange shape like this. So my right ankle is on top of my left knee, and both my knees are going towards the right. So if your knees are going towards the left, okay, place your left ankle on top of your right knee. So we're just coming into a deep hip stretch and just hold there. So just notice where you're resisting, where you are pushing against here. Can you soften into it with your breath? Can you focus on the contact between your body and the floor? Just notice how it feels here. Are you gripping? Are you resisting? Are you pulling? Do you feel any tension in your shoulders? Can you breathe into that area and relax with each exhale? So whatever you're doing now, take that ankle off the top of that knee, and then my knees are over to the right. So I'm going to drop my knees all the way over to the left now in the opposite direction. Both my knees have gone off to the left. I place my left ankle on top of my right knee, so you do the opposite, and just again stretch into this deep hip psoas stretch. So with our arms and cactus arms as well, we're opening up the shoulders. So if you feel that's a little bit too tense, you can just take your arms away from cactus if that doesn't feel right for you. And then inhale, bring our knees back up to centre. And we're just going to bring our feet together, so our feet are touching sort of like the outside edge of our big toes. Put your hands on both your knees, and we're going to draw big circles, make a big wide circles with our knees. Bring our knees in on the inhale, and then on the exhale, take your knees wide, keeping your big outer edges of your big toes touching. So draw big circles. Get into those cranky little funky areas that are going on in your hips. It's where they start to stiffen up a little bit, where it feels a little bit cranky, and just go in your own time. Use your breath, really feel that contact with the back and the floor, just focus on physical sensation. You can make this yoga practice mindful and meditative if you just think less and feel more and focus on what is happening, the sensations in your physical body. And just drawing those circles. So we'll be needing our strap now, so we're just going to start with a nice deep stretch, okay? So we're going to place the strap on the balls of our feet like so, and lengthen our legs up towards the ceiling. Don't worry if your knees are softly bent, because our hamstrings are still struggling a little bit. So see if you can straighten your legs a little bit. And we're just going to do a nice gentle warm up, okay? So what we're going to do, flex your toes towards you. If you can, squeeze your kneecaps towards your hips by squeezing your thigh muscles. Flex and then open your thighs a little bit. See if you can feel that stretch in between your thighs. On the inhale, and then exhale, bring your feet together. Just use the strap as a little bit of a guide. You don't need the strap, you don't have to do it with the strap. Just take it as wide as possible, and then inhale, bring it all the way in. So we're just stretching all of the hips out, nice and wide, and coming all the way in. It may feel a little bit strange at the moment. We're just getting some nice little deep stretch in those inner thigh muscles, a little bit of a stretch into the hamstrings. We're storing a lot of fight and flight, freeze, flop tension in our bodies at the moment. And when we feel anxious, we tighten up. So when it comes to the biomechanics of stretching, what basically happens is, it's not so much about your flexibility, it's your nervous system. So when your nervous system is very, very tense and anxious, it tightens up your body a little bit. Okay, so your muscles, there's lots of scientific evidence that your muscles don't actually lengthen when you stretch them. It's how your nervous system develops a kind of relaxation towards the resistance of it all. So we're just going to bring our knees in now towards our chest, squeeze them in on the exhale, and just rock a little bit from side to side, and just feel that nice rocking motion and just nice tension release for lower back stress. So we're going to come into a nice side bend. Now, according to yoga philosophy, side bends are very good for anger. Okay? Don't know where that comes from. I haven't read a scientific paper that suggests that. It's up to you how you would like your arms, but I'm going to grab opposite elbow above my head. And we're going to come into Bananasana to have a nice deep side stretch. I'm taking my right leg, it might be your left, because obviously mirroring happens with you. My right leg is coming off the mat, and then I'm crossing my left over the top of it. And then on the exhale, I'm bending in a C shape all to one side. So my legs and my upper body are bending towards the right, keeping both my hips and my shoulder blades as flat to the floor as I can. And just feel into the sensation and notice what's happening down that side of the side stretch. And just breathe into the areas and just notice contact with the floor. And then inhale to lengthen, so uncross your legs. And then take the left, I'm taking my left leg now, so it's probably your right, off the mat, and then cross in the other leg on top. And then I'm bending towards it on the exhale, trying to keep my shoulder blades and my hips on it as flat as I can towards the floor. Don't forget to breathe. And then, whether you've got books or blocks or a rolled up bolster or a mat, I'm going to pop them underneath my hips, right underneath my pelvis. So I'm just going to lift my hips as if I'm coming gently into bridge, and I'm just going to pop them underneath my hips. As long as the books and the blocks are similar height, it's up to you. We're going to get deep again into this psoas muscle, which is such a deep stressor. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten my left leg, it looks probably to you the right, flexing my toe towards me. You can have a soft bend in that knee if it feels nice. And on the exhale, I'm pulling the knee in towards my chest, as if I'm taking this knee towards my armpit. Now, the trick with this deep release of this stretch here, keep both feet flexed. We take nice, massive, deep belly breaths, almost as if you can hear them. Because what you're doing is you're stretching both the psoas muscle and the fight or flight nerve in your body called the vagus nerve. So you're massaging both at the same time for a deep release. So really big deep breath, massive belly breaths as if you're really expanding your belly, and we'll do 5 each side. You can really exhale out of your mouth if it helps. Really pulling that thigh in towards your chest. And then when you've done that one, release. Oof, I can feel that crankiness right in my hips. So I'm straightening out the opposite leg, bringing the other one in on the exhale. Again, really pulling, creating a little bit of tension between both legs if they're going in the opposite direction, flexing the feet towards the head, pulling that thigh in towards the chest, knee towards armpit. Nice big deep inhales. Really expanding the abdomen. You really feel that hip flexor stretch there. And then just release both legs. Take the blocks out and we'll come into a nice deep twist. So, I'm just going to straighten out, okay, my right leg, that's probably your left. I'm going to take my left arm, which is probably your right, out into a T position. Gently keeping both shoulder blades flat to the floor. Opposite hand to knee, I'm taking it across the body and coming into a deep stretch. Keeping both shoulder blades flat to the floor. I'm rolling onto my outer hip here. And if your neck feels comfortable, look in the opposite direction. So you get a deep spinal twist. So if you feel a bit of a crack, you've saved yourself £50 in the chiropractor. Nice deep twist. Just soften into that, keeping the shoulder blades flat to the floor. Inhale to come back up and then exhale, release. Straighten out that leg that you've just taken across. I'm going to take, again, opposite knee, take my hand with the opposite knee, arm out into a T position, goalpost style. Exhale, deep twist, shoulder blade flat to the floor. Just release. I'm rolling onto my outer hip and I'm just using my hand to gently guide my knee across, but I'm getting that deep twist in my lower spine as well. If you want to look in the opposite direction and look into your outstretched hand, if that feels nice, just go for it. Lovely. And then inhale, release. So we're coming up now. We're still on the floor, but we're not really going to get up much from sort of tabletop position. Right, so we're going to do a little bit of cat-cow. Okay, so jazz hands. Right where I see those fingers. So, wrists underneath, but obviously if you've got very tender wrists and you've got carpal tunnel and you're a bit of a typer, okay, you can always put blanket underneath and place the heel of your palm, okay, on that folded up blanket edge. Knees underneath hips, okie dokie, and I'm nicely stacked, and we're going to do a little bit of cat-cow, but we'll do some wrist stretches first of all. Okay, so take your wrists face each other with your fingers going out and just stretch them a little bit. Okay, so we're in a tabletop position with a flat back. Try not to collapse, push the ground away from you. So my fingers are going out to the left and right with my wrists pointing each other. Okay, if that feels comfortable then, let your fingers point towards your knees with your wrists facing out away from you. So you're coming into that position so that your shoulder blades are gliding down your back. And then bring your fingers forward to how they normally are, and we'll just come into cat-cow. So head up, belly down, exhale, round the spine. Inhale, belly down, exhale, cat stretch. Just mobilising that spine. It's the best movement you can get in there. Just do it in your own time with your breath. Cow, inhale, exhale, cat. Just do what feels good. And then we're going to come into a little bit of a puppy stretch with the big shoulder release. If you've got blocks or anything that you want to use, it's up to you. It can be a rolled up blanket. I'm just going to put them to the side for now. I'm just going to come into puppy pose first. So my hips are directly above my knees are hip distance. We're going to melt our heart centre towards the floor on the exhale, slowly gliding our hands down the mat and pressing your forehead on the floor and feeling that stretch. So our bum's sticking up in the air, not the greatest of poses, but nobody's looking. And forehead to the floor, and we're arching our back. So we're coming into a bit of a back bending puppy pose. If you feel you want to take that stretch further, you can come onto your chin and look ahead of you. Now that's very advanced and quite deep. I'm just going to keep my forehead flat to the floor for now and just feel the extension and the length in my shoulders, underneath my armpits, feeling the stretch across and in between my shoulder blades, and feeling that deep stretch all the way down my back. So we need to counter position that now. We need to go in the opposite direction to take the tension out of the back. So come into child's pose. You can have your big toes to touch with your knees wide, or you can have your knees together and just push your hips all the way back towards your heels, coming into the opposite direction, and just place your forehead on the floor and just come into this and feel that gentle stretch underneath the armpits this time. Okay, so armpit stretch. If you've got a block or something that elevates you, or books or whatever, we're going to come into that puppy stretch this time. So my knees underneath my hips. My elbows are basically like so. Make your hands prayer position or interlace your fingers. Okay, make sure your hips are directly above your knees hip distance apart, and just slowly drop your head in between your arms. And you'll feel that stretch, deep stretch. You can have your hands pointing up towards the ceiling or drop the thumbs behind your head. So it touches the back of your neck. That's only if that feels comfortable. Only move into the stretch, don't go past it. You should feel comfort at all times. And then inhale to come up, and then come back to table pose. It doesn't matter how you get out of that position. Whee! Lovely. And then we're just going to come into Sphinx pose. So we're going to come all the way down to the floor. Oof. And then place each foot in the corner of the mat. Okay, and then we're going to measure the distance of our arms, like so. And I'm going to do it this way, so you can see me. And I'm going to have my hands parallel, forearms parallel like train tracks, with my elbows directly underneath my shoulders. I'm going to push the tops of my feet and my pelvis into the floor. I'm going to push into my forearms, separate my ears away from my shoulders, and push my chest through my arms as if I'm sort of trying to reach a biscuit. What flavour will it be? Oh, a mint Viscount, if you can remember them from the 70s. I wonder if mint Viscounts still exist. And if you want to get a little bit of a stretch into the ear, you can drop one ear towards one shoulder, just to get a little bit of an extra stretch. Inhale to come up, and then drop the ear in the opposite direction. Just carry on doing that while I adjust something, because, oh, little box has popped up and I can't see Kit. Hello, Nicola. Glad you can join me, babes. I'm glad you're here. Oh, yes, I'm back on. Lovely. Right, so we was in Sphinx. Oh, okay. We need to come into that position where we're going in the opposite direction. Okay, because we need to protect our lower back. Push back, hips towards heels. Come into child's pose again. Knees wide, big toes to touch, or you can have your knees together. Come all the way down. Now you will need something to give you some support for the next section. Okay, for the next section. Blocks or your books. Dictionaries. Don't worry if you can't, you can always use household items. Anything that's this shape is good. We're going to be needing these at the front of the mat because we're going to do some deep hip flexor stretching. Okay, you can put these, you can put your hands on them, you can have them this way or that way. This is absolutely fine if you're worried that your books are going to fly open. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to come into a low lunge. Okay, we're going to come into a low lunge. So from tabletop position, I've got my hands on my blocks or my books, whichever you've got. This gives you a little bit of elevation so you're lifted. Okay, and you'll need to bring your, I'm putting my right leg forward, you're going to do your left. Remember mirroring. Bring your right foot forward, making sure that, okay, that your knee is directly above your ankle. Okay, and the knee that's behind you, okay, is not directly underneath your hip, it's going back. Now you're going to feel quite possibly that that's a little bit too hard on your knee. Get yourself a blanket, pop it under that knee, give yourself a nice bit of padding. I've got a dodgy knee. Okay, and you'll need the blocks to stop you from collapsing onto your thigh. You just need that little bit of a lift. So if you're collapsing onto your thigh, look, if you look at me, I've sort of got a little bit of a straight line coming all the way up, and I'm using my blocks. So I'm lifting my heart forward and my chest is lifted. You can place fists on your blocks, okay, you can turn them any way you like, or your books or whatever, but you've got that little bit of a lift, so your chest is coming forward and you're feeling that deep hip stretch right underneath. You should feel it underneath this leg here and also underneath this leg going back. So in what's called, okay, a low lunge. So you should feel that stretch, okay. Pushing your hips down and forward towards the floor makes that stretch much, much deeper, but only go as far as you feel into that stretch. It's quite deep. Now we're going to come into a sort of Adha Hanumanasana, Ha Mukha. Okay, so we're very slowly, very, very slowly, you're going to pull your hip, lift the toes of that front leg and straighten it out as you squeeze the muscles of this thigh, like so. So pull your kneecap up towards your hip, that front leg is straight, but you're really squeezing, okay? You're really squeezing the muscles of that thigh and lift your toes up. So you're coming into half monkey, okay? Try to keep this knee underneath your hip. So it's like a half monkey stretch. Now if you feel that's too much, soften into it, don't go too far. Keep your chest lifted as much as you can. Really squeeze the thigh muscle here to release the hamstring, which is reciprocal inhibition. Okay, it's quite a deep stretch. You don't have to do this. You can stay in the previous pose. Always listen to your body and always modify as much as necessary. Lovely. And then come all the way forward, back again. Whew. It's quite a deep stretch. My hips have just been so funky, it's unbelievable. And I've already realised how funky my hips have been feeling doing this. Woohoo! Okay, so we're going to bring that front leg back. Okay, and just come into child's pose again. Just push the hips back. You can, just relax out of that posture. Woo. So, stretching, you don't have to do masses of stretching to increase your flexibility. 45 seconds 3 times on a particular posture, but I'm not doing flexibility stretching today. We're doing something a little bit more, how can I say, more sort of yin styly, okay? But the more you relax into it, obviously, not resist it, the easier it gets. So, left foot forward this time, which is probably all right. Remember to keep that right angle in that front knee, that your knee is over your ankle. This thigh is going back a little bit, so you're getting into that hip flexor, and you're keeping your chest lifted, your heart is going forward, you're not rounding or collapsing down. You're using your blocks or your books to keep you lifting forward, and you're feeling that deep stretch again. Now this is the sort of stuff that people do with the practice to get ready to do splits. I'm not interested in doing splits. I was one of these crazy people who used to like go, oh yeah, let's do splits. And I did learn how to do splits about 5 years ago when I was 45. And now I've realised doing the splits has got no benefit to my life whatsoever. Why would I want to do it? I mean, you just don't go around everywhere going and say, I can do the splits. Because it just doesn't benefit my life, does it? So I don't really give a toss. As long as I'm happy. The only thing that benefits my life at the moment is biscuits and wine. I'm perfectly human. Okay, so we're going to come into that half splits. So very gently, remember, the trick is, as you're coming back, to squeeze the thigh muscle of that front leg, pull your toes back towards you, that deep stretch. Try to keep your chest lifted. Feel that stretch. You don't have to come down low, don't round your back over it. You're just stretching into it and you're just feeling that little bit. It's hard, I know, it is hard. Ooh, ooh. Monkey, oh, I used to love Monkey. If anybody can remember Monkey, give us a shout out. There is some new versions from China because my son watches them with his lovely Chinese girlfriend. But yeah, Monkey from the 70s. Miriam Margulies was hilarious in it. She used to be very saucy. Used to be on before the water margin. It taught Buddhism to children. It was basically about a monkey, a pig, and a Buddhist monk called Tripitaka. It was great fun. People could think Buddhism is a religion. It's not. It's actually a way of life. Okay, lovely. And then just come back. Oh, funky. Love a bit of Monkey. Oh, lovely. And then just bring that knee back to the other knee and just come into child's pose. Oh. Ooh. So we're just going to do some upper body stretches quite quickly before we do our final relaxation. You might need to sit on something. I find if I sit like this, because my hamstrings and my hips are tight, I roll forward and arch my back. But if I stick something underneath my bum, anything, blankets, blocks, books, whatever, giving me that lift, you don't need one of these. People, there's a big business in yoga props, isn't there, and meditation cushions. I personally believe that you can make them out of anything. Because let's face it, when people started doing yoga 5,000 years ago, they just didn't know, did they? Just probably a nice rug. Okay then, so we'll do some nice seated kind of upper body release. Okay, so let's just start with a little bit of shoulder work. Walk like an Egyptian. Oh yes. So we're trying to create that elbow in line with the shoulders and just down, exhale, inhale up. Just do a little bit of rotation into the shoulders. Nice. Inhale up. And if that feels uncomfortable, you don't have to go very far. We're not looking for perfection, remember. We're only just doing what we can. And if we can do a little bit of movement, then next time when we practice, we can do a little bit more. Always remember that when it comes to yoga, it's about consistency. And it's about what you want to get out of it. If you want to get flexibility out of yoga, but spiritual alignment, it's up to you. Okay, and then just roll the shoulders out. Nice. And then just place your hands on your shoulders and just draw big circles. Really, really big fat ones, as if you've got chalk on the end of them. Oof. And just get all that cranky funkiness. It's amazing, isn't it, how basically both your shoulders and your hips are where all the cranky funk is. I don't know why I keep calling it funky. It's not as if Bootsy Collins is going to come down in a big spaceship and start slapping his bass, if you know who Bootsy Collins is. Lots of musical references today, as opposed to literary ones. Oh, and then opposite direction, because I like music too. I like art. Maybe we should have some artistic references. Lovely, and just get that nice. So what we're going to do now then, if you've got your strap, we're going to do a little bit of cow face stuff. I'm just going to turn around. If you've got your belt you've stolen out with somebody's dressing gown, we'll just do a little bit of opening there. So you just loop it around a couple of your fingers, take it up, use your other hand, bend so that the strap is going in between your shoulder blades and your elbow is going up towards the ceiling, and just grab the strap and really lengthen your spine and lift and lengthen. Inhale. So if your elbow is going forward, it doesn't matter if you can't get it up to the ceiling. You know, it's all a work in progress. So we're opening up the chest and we're opening up the shoulders. So this is called Utkamasana, cow face. Do I look like a cow? No. And then release, roll the shoulders out, get all that funkiness out there. Then do the opposite side. Lift, 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 lift. Bend, strap and grab. A towel's good for this as well if you haven't got a dressing gown strap or something like that. Oh. And then release. And then we're going to take a little bit of a mudra. So, mudra, mudra. Mudra means seal. It's all to do with your energy knots, all to do with your chakras and your nadis and things like that, but I just think it's just... Okay, so if you can't interlace your fingers, if that feels too much, you can always grab the strap. Okay, so interlace your fingers, open up your chest, lift your chin, parallel to the floor, spine long, chest and collarbones open, and then take your clasped hands into the crook of one of your waists. And then, okay, drop your ear towards the side where the hand is in the crook of the waist. Keep your chest lifted, keep your chin parallel to the floor, feel that stretch all the way down the side of the neck. And then bring it all the way up, and on the exhale drop it down to the opposite side. And then inhale up, and then lift your hands away from your back. Lift, lift, lift. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Open up your collarbones. Lengthen your spine. Feel that stretch. And then exhale, take it to the opposite side. So you're working into the shoulders. And then exhale, drop the left ear. Drop your ear towards the side where your hands are clasped. Can you see my knickers? Oh no, but I took them in. Oh, I had a Zoom call the other day and my knickers were on the radiator and they were behind me in the Zoom call. Oh, and then I realised halfway through, after I just did, and then I tried to take my knickers off the radiator while nobody was noticing. Of course they noticed, and they weren't my best knickers. They were my Bridget Jones. Typical. And then bring your ear towards the opposite shoulder. So there you go. Just be careful what's behind you when you're doing a Zoom call, a video conferencing call. At least it was just my knickers, nothing too dangerous. It wasn't my rubber mask and outfit, only joking. Inhale to centre and then release. And just roll them shoulders out. Oof. Right, we're going to come into relaxation in a bit. Hope that feels a little bit less cranky. We're just going to do a little bit of happy baby. Just a little bit of happy baby. And a little bit of a twist. So come on your back. Whee! So with happy baby, nothing too exciting. So I've got this leg sort of bent a little bit. And I'm placing this strapper on the ball of this foot. Like so. And I'm very gently on the exhale, I'm bringing this knee towards the same armpit, keeping my heel going up towards the ceiling. So we're coming into this little bit of a deep stretch here. Another funky stretch. And then release that foot. And then cross it over the opposite leg. Take your arms onto the T position. It's all done in the most best possible taste, as Kenny ever used to say. And whichever leg is underneath, drop your knees to the same side. Keep your shoulder blades glued to the floor. Inhale back up to centre, uncross your legs. Happy baby on the opposite side. Happy baby. You can do it with both hands or both legs, but I do it once. Knee bent or straight. Pull that knee in towards your armpit. Heel going up towards the ceiling. Flex that foot, deep stretch. Happy baby. Whenever I do this in primary school, they always make baby noises. They make noises with every single pose. They have to do it. So they start crying like a baby. When we do cat pose, they meow. When they do dog, they bark. It's quite cute, actually. When they do snake, they have to be a snake. Oh, they're just crazy. When they do dragons, they just absolutely burst my eardrums. Oh, I miss the little ones. That's the only problem we're not teaching in schools with yoga. Okay, so cross that top leg over the other. Bend both your knees, take your arms into T position, whichever leg's underneath, drop it in the same direction, exhale, shoulders glued to the floor, feel that stretch. Now my beautiful ladies, and you are beautiful ladies, we are going to get ourselves comfy for the guided relaxation. So, you will need something rolled up to substitute as a bolster, or anything at all that can go underneath. An eye mask, or simply a piece of material or a flannel just to go over your eyes. It's quite warm today, so it's up to you whether you want blankets. So you might want to use the blankets to pad your head and your hips, it's up to you. You might want to put your socks back on. Comfort is the key here for Yoga Nidra. Get everything that you need and you find the position for you. You don't have to do anything at all. You just have to do a position that feels comfortable. If you've got lower back problems, it's always very good to bend your knees and have something underneath your knees. It can be anything rolled up, like another mat, another yoga mat, or a blanket, or a big sleeping bag, or anything really. Okay, you don't have to buy these expensive yoga bolsters, and you just get nice and comfy. You put your eye mask on. Okay, make sure you can go bonkers. Get lots of pillows. Hey, that's a really good idea. Sleeping bag in its sleeping bag case, top one there. Yeah, a rolled sleeping bag in a sleeping bag case is perfect. Just pull, next time we do this and you're joining in, You can literally pull all the duvets off your bed and all the pillows and everything and just make a big, lovely nest. Okay, so spend a few minutes getting ready. And then we'll start, and the good, and you know, and I have been practicing on here. I do apologise, but the best thing about it is being practicing on these. I'm very aware that my voice has been too soft in this section of the yoga class, so I'm not going to lower my voice too much. But I am going to get my bowl ready. Okay, and I'm going to sit down. And I just want you to really make sure that you can be 5 or 10% more comfortable than what you are now. So spend as much time as you need to wiggle and get that perfect sweet spot of comfortability. It's all about comfort, because you're going to have to try and stay as still as you can throughout this practice, because that's how it works. If you feel as though you need to move or itch, just do it in a way where it's nice and mindful. Okay. So, all you're doing really now is you're listening to the sound of my voice. And this is a practice of sensing and listening. So it's all about sensation, it's all about feeling, and it's less about thinking. And you're moving towards knowing. And be prepared to lie as still as you can, with less skin touching skin, if that feels comfortable for you. Legs slightly apart. You may feel as though it's comfortable with your arms either side of your body, slightly away from your sides, with your palms facing up or down. With your chin slightly tucked in, so your forehead is slightly higher than your chin, so you feel that length in the back of the neck. And even though your eyes are closed, just be aware where you are, the time of day. And I'd love you to set or repeat your intention from the beginning of this practice. In your life right now, what is your most deepest, heartfelt desire? Think of it as a little seed that you're planting, like a blessing. Contemplate it, imagine it, see it. Feel your life with the fulfillment of this desire. What would your life look, sound and smell and feel like if this intention became a reality? Make this into a language that makes sense to you, a statement, a positive statement that you could say 3 times to yourself. Give thanks and then let it go. And now open your senses. Become aware of sensations and taste inside of the mouth. Become aware of your ears listening. Not just the part of the body, but with the whole body. And smell. Welcome the touch of air or aroma inside of the nostrils. And vision. Relaxing your eyes from the world of seeing and looking. Internal vision opening. And feel your skin, the touch of air or temperature, the clothes and the touch of the ground. And experience your body lying on the floor. Feel the weight of your body lying on the floor. Feel the whole of your body lying on the floor. Concentrate on the contact between the body and the floor. Feel the whole body against the floor. Whole plane of contact from heels to your neck. One plane of contact. And feel the plane of contact at once. An almost abstract experience. Almost as if you're aware of the space between your body and the floor. And now allow your mind to become still and calm by releasing all tension in your mouth, your cheeks and your lips. Allow the tongue to be still and loose. Your mind becomes calmer, allowing you to sink down into absolute physical relaxation. And allow all the muscles of the face to become supple and relaxed, bringing the mind's awareness to the muscles surrounding the eyes, the forehead, your right eyebrow, your left eyebrow, your right eyelid. Sense the left eyelid. Feel your right eyeball, the left eyeball, the right side of your face, the left side of your face. Feel the muscles inside of the mouth, your tongue, your upper lip, your lower lip. Sense your right cheek, your left cheek, your right jaw and left jaw. Feel your chin and the whole of your face together. Now see how quickly you can relax your entire body. Just let it all go. And experience the soothing wave of relaxation with each out breath. Feel the weight of your body sinking down to the surfaces beneath. Your body is becoming heavier and heavier, sinking down deeper and even deeper down into the deepest states of relaxation. It feels so good to release and relax the body and the mind so fully. We will now rotate our conscious awareness around each part of the body. And as you move your mind towards each part, imagine that you're bringing a soothing wave of relaxation. Every time a body part is named, you are becoming more relaxed as you circle your conscious awareness around you and your body. Let's begin the right side of the body. Feel into the right hand thumb, your second finger of your right hand, your third, your fourth, your fifth, and your pinky finger. Feel into the palm of your right hand, the back of your right hand, your wrist, your forearm, and your elbow, and your upper arm. Feel your right shoulder and your armpit, your waist, hip, thigh, knee, your right calf and ankle, right heel, the sole of your right foot, the top of your right foot, your right big toe, second, third, fourth and fifth toe. Bring your attention now to the left side of your body and feel into your left hand and your left hand thumb. Sense your second finger, third, fourth and fifth, the palm of your left hand, the back of your left hand, your left wrist and forearm, elbow, left up arm, left shoulder, left armpit and waist, left hip, left thigh, knee, calf, ankle, heel, the sole of your foot, the top of your foot, your left big toe, your second, third, fourth and pinky toe. Now go to the back of your body. Feel your right heel, left heel, right calf, left calf, right thigh, left hip, right hip, lower back, middle back, upper back, your entire spine, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, back of the neck and back of the head. Feel into and sense the top of your head, forehead, right temple, left temple, right ear, left ear, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, middle of the eyebrows. Sense your right eye, left eye, right nostril, left nostril, right cheek, left cheek, upper lip, lower lip, both of your lips touching each other, your chin, jaw, throat, right collarbone, left collarbone, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, upper abdomen, navel, lower abdomen, right hip, left hip, the whole right leg, the whole left leg, the whole right arm, the whole left arm, the whole face, the whole head, your whole torso, the whole body, the whole body, your whole body. See your whole body now as a universe, a constellation of twinkling blue stars. And now bring your notice and attention to the breath, your natural breath, as it flows through you. Feel the breath, note the out-breath, note the in-breath. As you exhale, imagine a wave passing downward through your body, carrying away all physical tension. As you inhale, a fresh wave flowing upwards through your whole body, bringing a sense of calm to every cell. Exhale, wave flowing down through body, carrying away all anxiety and fears. Inhale, fresh wave upwardly, bringing serenity. Continue to feel and do this practice with the breathing. Inhale, washing away tension. Exhale, serene. And now we're going to count backwards. Imagine that you're standing in a beautiful garden and you're at the top of some stone stairs, a balustrade of stone going left and right to the side. Ahead of you is a beautiful, beautiful stretch of green going up towards the horizon. You're standing on the top of the 10th step, and as you slowly go down each step, you go deeper and deeper into a sense of relaxation. Place your foot on the 9th step, to the 8th, down, going down, the 7th, dropping down, the 6th, down, the 5th, down, deeper still, the 4th, down, the 3rd, down, the 2nd, down, and the 1st, and you step onto this beautiful garden. The whole of the landscape is ahead of you, and you gently rest your eyes into the distance. You see trees, you see houses, you see animals, farmyards, farms. You feel calm and relaxed, a sense of expansiveness and serenity. And now remember your heart's desire, the statement, your intention, the beginning of this practice. Repeat it again to yourself, because it is the present truth. It is already happening. Start to become aware of sounds. Nothing else but what you could hear without strain. Focus on the nearest sound that you can hear, and gradually allow your sense of hearing to radiate outwards, searching out distant sounds and following them, jumping from sound to sound, without labelling, analysing, or considering the source of the sound. Sounds inside of this room, sounds outside of this room, in this building, sounds outside this building, sounds in the distance beyond. In your mind's eye, though your eyes are closed, visualise the four walls of your room, the ceiling, the floor. Visualise your body lying on the floor. Visualise the position of your body, your clothes, your hair, your face. Become acutely aware of the existence of your body lying on the floor. Come back to the feeling of the breath going in and out of your nostrils. Maintain your awareness of the breath, and at the same time the awareness of your body lying on the floor. Your body's relaxed and lying on the floor, and you can feel the container of your skin and all the props touching you. Notice the heaviness of your body as it rests, taking in all points of contact between your body and the floor. The back of the heels, the calves, the thighs and hips, your back, your neck and your head, your shoulder blades, your arms and your hands. And then become acutely aware of taste in the mouth, smell in the nostrils, eyes though your eyes are closed. And then visualise and imagine that your fingers and toes are now moving. And then when you feel ready, make that visualisation into small movements. Allow small movements to become larger movements. Give your toes and fingers a little wiggle. You may want to rock your head gently from side to side. Do whatever feels right for you at this present moment. If you want to stretch, please stretch. Move into a feeling of gentle awakeness. The practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete.